Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bill Klein. I'm the Director of Vocal Music here at Fitch High School, and I'm the Chair of the Veterans Day Observations. I'd like to thank you all for coming to our Veterans Day Observations this morning, especially to our honored veterans who are here. You're the reason that we're here this morning. Students, in whatever grade you're in, you are expected to have the most highest levels of decorum and respect during this entire ceremony. It's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be in the presence of the individuals who are sitting here with us this morning. Teachers and staff, thank you so much for your support so we can make this one of the most pivotal events during our school year. At this time, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to rise as we present the colors. Senior class president, Mr. Jaden Wallace, is going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the national anthem by our symphonic band under the direction of Mr. Jeremy McLean. At this time, I'd like to present the Austintown Fitch Air Force JROTC Color Guard to present the colors. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Before we continue, I'd like to thank some individuals who are here today, taking some time out of their very busy schedules to be here with us on this important day. I'd like to thank our Fitch administration, Mr. Sal Majorana, Angel Owens, Jim Ricardo, and Dave Phillips for their support. Extreme support over the past several weeks as we plan this event. I'd like to thank also our district administrators who are here with us today, Brittany Morell, Jeff Swavel, Dorothy Reppy, Blaze Karlovic, and our superintendent, Tim Kelty. Appreciate all your support and appreciate you guys being here today. Our board members who are here, Kathy Mock, Don Sherwood, Fred Markham, and Kim Schmreck, thank you guys very much for being here. Mr. Harold Porter, thank you for being here today and all the support that you give us. And our local government officials who are here, our Fire Department Chief, Dave Schertzer, our Chief of Police, Valerie Delmont, Amber White, 7th Ward Councilwoman, our trustees, Robert Santos, Monica Devers, and Bruce Shepis, the Commissioner of Veteran Service and U.S. Marine Corps veteran Brian Kennedy. Thank you all very much for being here. We appreciate all your support. Thank you. I'd also like to make mention of our district staff members who are veterans who have served. Tom Marhulik and Kevin Riley are ROTC teachers, and they do a fabulous job with our ROTC program. Thank you for your service. Mr. Jim Fisher, who does our skills trades program and does a fabulous job in working with our students back there. Mr. Jim Fisher. One of our newer employees to the district works very close with our custodian team, Nate Needham. And our superintendent of schools, a huge supporter of everything we do veteran service related, Mr. Tim Kelty. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce our head principal at Fitch High School to give some words and to keep our program moving, to introduce our reading of conflicts, Mr. Sal Majorana.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we come together as a school community to honor and thank the men and women that have served the United States Armed Forces for Veterans Day. Veterans Day is more than just a date on the calendar. It's a time to recognize the courage, sacrifice, and dedication of those who have protected our freedoms and defended our nation. To all the veterans with us this morning, whether you are a parent, grandparent, teacher, staff member, or guest, we thank you for your service and your example. Your bravery and commitment reminds us of the values of duty, honor. As we go through today's program, let's take a moment to reflect on the cost of freedom and the responsibility we share to uphold the ideals that our veterans fought to protect. On behalf of the Austintown Fitch High School, welcome to our Veterans Day Assembly, and we thank you for joining us as we pay tribute to our nation's heroes. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Jim Ricardo for the reading of conflicts.
Good morning. I'd like to begin. If we are fortunate enough to have any veterans from the World War II era of any service of any kind in any location through 1941 through 1945 in attendance, if so, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Veterans from the Korean War era, including service of any kind from 1945 to 1954, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Veterans from the Vietnam War era, including service of any kind in any location from 1965 to 1973. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Veterans from the post-Vietnam era, including operations in Grenada, Panama, and service of any kind in any location between 1973 and 1990. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Veterans of the Gulf War era, operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm, in any service of any kind in any location from 1990 through 1992. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Finally, veterans of the global war on terror, including Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Inherent Resolve, in any service of any kind in any location from 2001 to present day. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you. It was my honor.
Every year for Veterans Day, we are honored to have a guest speaker to come share their stories and words of wisdom with us, and with some awesome collaboration from local veterans groups. We have a true hero with us today, and I'm not going to stand here and give accolades. Someone who deserves to stand here and has put the service in deserves to stand here and tell you more about our guest speaker today. I'd like to introduce Kevin Riley and Ken Jakubek to the podium to introduce our guest speaker today. Thank you.
Good morning. I have the great honor of introducing one of my great friends, Kenneth David, who received the Medal of Honor. I'm going to read a bio of his history, and then we're going to turn it over to Colonel Kevin Riley, who's going to read his Medal of Honor citation. Then we're going to bring him up. Kenneth David was born on January 21st, 1950, and grew up in Girard, Ohio, and graduated from Girard High School in 1968. He was active in the Boy Scouts and achieved the prestigious rank of Eagle Scout. Ken was drafted into the Army in August of 1969 and received basic training at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, then advanced training at Fort Polk, Louisiana. He was deployed to South Vietnam in January 70, joining Company D, 1st Battalion, 506th Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division. After being wounded in action on May 7, 1970 at Firebase Marine, he was moved to Valley Forge Hospital in Pennsylvania. For his action, he was then awarded the Distinguished Service Cross at that time. On January 3, 2025, 55 years later, he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions on May 7, 1970. Ken was written about in the VFW and Purple Heart magazine. A book called Ripcord has him killed in action. A book called Troubled Hero has a better account of the battle. He was also inducted as a distinguished member of the regiment of the 1st 506th Infantry and the 101st Airborne at Fort Campbell, Kentucky in 2009. Ken retired from York Mechanical in Youngstown and has 3 sons, Eric, Kevin, and Brian. He is a member of the DAV Chapter 11, VFW Post 3767, Purple Heart Chapter 606, 101st Airborne Association, 506th Airborne Infantry Regiment Association, Army-Navy Garrison number 283, and Ripcord Association. He was also named in 2025 the Disabled American Veteran of the Year. In 2010, Ken was inducted into Ohio Military Hall of Fame for Valor, and this past week was inducted into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame for service to his community and state. Ken is one of 61 living recipients of the Medal of Honor, and he was the only one still living from Ohio. His awards are Medal of Honor, Purple Heart with 1 oak leaf cluster. That means he received 2 Purple Hearts. Air Medal, Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Medal with 2 Bronze Stars, Combat Infantry Badge, Republic of Vietnam Civil Actions Honor Medal, First Class Unit Citation Badge, Republic of Vietnam Gallantry Cross with Palm Unit Citation Medal, Expert Marksmanship Badge. At this time, I'd like to bring up Colonel Kevin Riley, the director of our Air Force ROTC, and he will read Kenneth David's Medal of Honor citation. Colonel Riley.
Before I read this citation, I want to preface this with a couple of points. From many millennia now, we have saluted. We have had the salute. The salute is given by a junior person, a junior rank, to a senior rank in recognition of their rank, but also of how they've earned that rank. So it's respect and honor towards that earning and that position. The Medal of Honor is awarded. It's never won. There is no Medal of Honor winner. It is awarded. It is earned. And it is also customary for any military member to salute the Medal of Honor and its awardee. The Air Force thought so much of it that it actually made it a regulation. It was customary for other services, but the Air Force, it's mandatory. From the lowest rank to the highest rank, a 4-star general down to Airman First Class or basic airman, when seeing the Medal of Honor, is required to give it a salute. It's not just the person, in this case it's the person, but it's also the recognition for the medal and the sacrifice that goes with it. And in the citation, there's a word that's not often used, and I'm going to try, I know I'm going to mess it up. Intrepidity. Intrepidity is the word, and it means resolute fearlessness, bold courage. So when you hear the citation, recognize that Ken David put his life on the line and with intrepidity earned this award. And it was first authorized by President Lincoln in 1863. So here we go. The President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress, March 3, 1863, has awarded in the name of Congress the Medal of Honor to Private First Class Kenneth J. David. Then Private First Class Kenneth J. David distinguished himself by acts of gallantry and intrepidity above and beyond the call of duty on May 7, 1970, while serving as a radio telephone operator with Company D, 1st Battalion, 506th Infantry, 101st Airborne Division, near Fire Support Base Maureen, Thua Tien Province, Republic of Vietnam. On this date, David's company came under an intense attack from a large hostile force. The enemy's ferocious initial assault mortally wounded the company's platoon leader and resulted in numerous other friendly casualties. Upon the initial assault, and without hesitation, David handed his radio to his platoon sergeant and moved forward to the defensive perimeter, unleashing a barrage of automatic weapons fire on the enemy. From this location, David bitterly resisted all enemy efforts to overrun his position. Realizing the impact of the enemy assault on the wounded, who were being brought to the center of the perimeter, David, without regard for his own life, moved to a position outside of the perimeter while continuing to engage the enemy. Each time the enemy attempted to concentrate its fire on the wounded inside the perimeter, David jumped from his position and yelled to draw enemy fire away from his injured comrades and back to himself. Refusing to withdraw in the face of the concentrated enemy fire now directed toward him, he continued to engage the enemy. Although wounded by an exploding satchel charge and running perilously low on ammunition, he tossed hand grenades toward the attackers to effectively counter their fire. The unit's medic, realizing that David had been injured, moved to his position to provide aid, but David assured him that he was okay and continued to fight on. David continued to draw enemy fire away from the incoming medevac helicopters, allowing the wounded to be safely evacuated. After Allied reinforcements fought their way to his company's position, David carried a wounded comrade to a sheltered position. He then returned to the contact area and continued to engage the enemy and provide covering fire for the wounded until the enemy broke contact and fled, at which point he too was medically evacuated. David's conspicuous gallantry, extraordinary heroism, and intrepidity at the risk of his own life were above and beyond the call of duty and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to bring up Congressional Medal of Honor recipient Kenneth David, United States Army.
Oh, we got a big glare. Can everybody hear me? It's an honor to be here today. Good morning, teachers, students, guests, all my military brothers and sisters, the band. It's a great honor for me to be here today to talk to you. I was here many years ago. And to tell my story today, and to be addressing the best of the next generation of our future leaders for the great country of ours and the great state of Ohio. OH? Come on, you could do better. OH? There you go, now we're awake. You students will make new friends that will last you a lifetime. While in school, you will learn how to work with people that you did not even know when you first came, and accomplish more in high school than you could even imagine. Now, us in the military, we all wore a uniform. Over the years, that has changed many times, from my jungle uniform to the new pinks and greens that I wear today. Now, many years ago, I got a surprise letter in the mail in 1969 from my Selective Service Draft Board in Warren. I got drafted. I went to Cleveland, got on a bus, went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and the second stage of my life started. When I stepped off the bus at Fort Campbell, and the first words I heard, "Boy, you better get off my bus, and you better move faster than that." I said to myself, oh, this isn't going to be good. But I had training, 11 Bravo Infantry, and more training, and a lot of physical training. And then I was off to Fort Polk, Louisiana, for more training, plus 11 Charlie border training. And in 6 months, I was off to Vietnam in 1970. That was halfway around the world. We left on the 30th of January and arrived in Vietnam on the 29th of January. We lost a whole day. We had crossed the international date line. Again, we all said, not good. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. Stepping off the bus, the plane, we felt the heat, the humidity, and the jungle stench. Now, myself growing up with a World War II veteran father was the best thing that ever happened to me. His ideas and standards were high, and that passed on to myself, and I passed that on to my 2 sons. I can see it in their lives today. Now let's take a walk in my boots. I just want to share a special story with you. It's not a story about comic book heroes. It's a true story about courage, friendship, and remembering the people who served our country in the military. I was a very young soldier a long time ago. I started and served in the United States Army during the Vietnam War with the 101st Airborne Air Assault. Air Assault was no parachutes. We just jumped out of the helicopters, whether it was 5, 10, 15 feet, with 150 to 200 pounds on our back. And being I was my lieutenant's radio man, my job was to help my teammates stay safe and communicate with Base Camp Evans. And that night, we were in great danger, and I had to make a tough choice. I handed off the radio to my Sarge, who was wounded, could not fight, but he was still able to talk, screaming on the radio for help. And I moved forward, even though I was scared, because I wanted to protect my fellow soldiers that were wounded and the ones still alive. And even being wounded myself, but I was still able to fight, I went outside the defensive perimeter to draw fire away from the other wounded soldiers because we were being overrun by the North Vietnamese Army in the jungles of Vietnam in the darkest of all nights with no moon, and we all thought we were all dead. But we fought back, and with the help of the gunships, we survived. With only 18 of us in my platoon, 14 of my brothers received the Purple Heart. That was my second one. And 7 of the 14 wounded of my brothers were killed in action. And only 4 were so lucky not to be wounded at all. I did not think I was doing anything special. I just did what I believed was right from my training that I received. Now, I was given another chance at life when I was injured. After getting out of the hospital or military, my goal was to help other veterans get their benefits that they earned and not go through the struggles and hardships that I went through to get mine. Now in 2024, 54 years later, I get a phone call from the switchboard at the White House asking me to receive a phone call from a person from the DOD between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock that night. And that night, on Halloween night, last year, at 4:30 p.m., the phone rang. It was from the President of the United States, President Joe Biden, on my cell phone. He told me I was to receive the Medal of Honor, the highest award a soldier can receive. I was surprised and humbled. I told him I did not do the things in Vietnam for a medal. I did it for the people I cared about, my brothers fighting with me. And on December 30th, 2024, an escort from D.C. came to my house in Girard to pick me up and take me and my buddy Bob to the airport. He had orders not to lose sight of me the whole time we were in public view because he said I was property of the government until we got there. Now, when we arrived in D.C., we had an 8 motorcycle and 4 police car escort with lights, sirens, all the way to Fort Myers, to the clothing store, which closed at 5 o'clock. But the delays at the airport didn't get me there till 7:30. And the Pentagon told them to stay open until I got there so they can fit me up with this nice-looking uniform. And some more briefings on protocol. Now, the next day, on New Year's Eve, my escort asked me what I wanted to do. I says, what is there to do on New Year's Eve? So he made a phone call. took us to the gate at Arlington Cemetery. The guard opened the gate. Myself and a party of 8 went through. And we went to the honor guard at Arlington. And the sergeant of the guard took us under the tomb where the soldiers live. They gave us a nice tour. And they were fixing up their New Year's Eve special, which was, they had tin aluminum foil on the table, nachos and cheese, and putting all kind of stuff on it, and that was their New Year's Eve snack. Then on New Year's Day, again he picked up the phone, and we went to Fort Myers. And we fired flint muskets from the Civil War. They only let us use the powder only, but there was a lot of smoke and fire out the barrel. Now, the day before the ceremony, I had a ton of briefings from generals, lieutenant colonels. I know, by the way, they told me lieutenant colonels in the Pentagon are like privates in the Army. Sorry, Colonel. Then on January 3rd, I went to the White House for the ceremony, where my 2 sons, 7-year-old grandson, plus my friend Bob, 38-year-old crusty Air Force loadmaster from the Air Force, we met with President Biden, and we watched him sign our paperwork for my award. The president talked to each of us, shook our hands, and he also gave my grandson a stuffed animal from one of the cartoons on TV, and he acted like a great grandpa to my grandson. My grandson said he'd remember that the rest of his life. And a while later, we were in the East Room for the ceremony. President Joe Biden placed the Medal of Honor around my neck. It was one of the most meaningful moments of my life. To date, there were only 61 living recipients to receive this award, but over 3,000 were given out since they started. Now, after President Joe placed the medal around my neck, and words were said, and then they gave me the clue to walk off the stage, my buddy Skippy jumped out of his seat and started running towards the stage. I stopped on the steps going down the stage. I says, oh, he's going to get shot or tased, because right behind him was 4 Secret Service people. He stopped at the bottom of the stage, saluted me. Secret Service stopped running. He wanted to be the first to salute me since I received the award. I saluted him back. He walked back to his seat. And I saw a relief in the Secret Service because he was within 10 feet of the president. Now, the day after the Medal of Honor ceremony, I was honored again. This time, it was supposed to have been at the Hall of Heroes in the Pentagon. But that little room only held 100 people. And there was 600 people that wanted to come see the ceremony. So they bussed us over to Fort Myers to a big building, which I called the Great Hall. I gave a speech that day, not just about me, but about the men I served with. The real heroes are the ones who gave all. And not long after, I returned back to Washington in March for Medal of Honor Day, a day to remember the courage of all who received this award. I was again honored to meet the new President, Donald Trump, and be surrounded by other recipients. We shared stories, remembered the fallen, and encouraged others to live lives of courage, service, and kindness. Now, here's what I've learned. Bravery is not being fearless or about doing the right thing, even when you are afraid. You don't have to be a soldier to be a hero. Kindness, courage, and helping others make the world better, one choice at a time. And the hardest emotion and feeling in life, I've learned while in D.C., was that my mom and dad could not be there. They were watching me from heaven. But my two sisters, my one brother, my two sons and grandsons and their family, plus 16 friends were there to support me. Now, the Medal of Honor is not just about one person. It's about honoring all the brave men and women who served and sacrificed. But I accepted this medal on behalf of all my battle buddies. They are the brave soldiers I served with, especially the 7 who did not come home. They are Corporal Robert Berger, only age 22, PFC Peter Cook, age 20, First Lieutenant Lawrence Fletcher, 21, Corporal Jose Gonzalez, age 20, Sergeant Lord Jackson, 22, Corporal Robert Lohenry, 21, and Staff Sergeant Joseph Fredman, 25. And I was only 20. They're on Panel 11 West, lines 121 to 128, on the Vietnam Veterans Wall in D.C. Their names won't mean much to you, but they are and will always be my battle buddies from the jungles of Vietnam. And now this is 7 killed in action. There were 4 different cultures: white, black, Spanish, American Indian. But we all had a saying: skin color does not matter because we all bleed red. Now, going back to Vietnam, our patrol was in the mountains of the A Shaw Valley for 45 days at a time. We carried no raincoats, no tents, no air mattresses, because of the sound it made in the rain. Now multiply that by 18 men with me in my platoon. We knew their shadow at night, the way they walked, the way they smelt, down to the heartbeat. We were in a quiet jungle in a war all alone, except for the North Vietnamese army. And any one of us would die for his brother next to him. I've tried to live my life by the Army values, which is loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. I will always wear this medal to honor the people I stood beside. I will always remember the ones who did not come home and get old and gray like me. There were over 58,000 veterans that their generation had stopped. Think about that. 58,000 soldiers. Their generation stopped because of the war in Vietnam. And I believe that every one of you can be a better person who shows courage, kindness, and love to each other. You got to believe in yourself. Achieve all you can. Your job is to learn. Your teachers and mentors can only teach. Your job, like I said, is to learn. Because without your education and you graduate and you walk out that door the last time, you will not succeed in the world in the future as we know it today. Look around. Who do you want to be like? If you believe in yourself, others will believe in you. And you don't need a medal to be a hero. You just need a heart that's willing to help. And always remember, I, Kenneth J. David, Medal of Honor recipient, I am only the custodian of this medal. This medal belongs to all of you, so we can be here today. Now remember, for duty, honor, country, for freedom. God bless you and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. David. That was truly inspiring. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the stage the Austintown Fitch Concert Choir. This ensemble has served veterans in VA hospitals and military bases since 1972 and is honored to perform today as a tribute to our heroes. They will perform the Battle Hymn of the Republic and God Bless the USA. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fitch Concert Choir.
Truth is To start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
Thank you, Concert Choir. I'd like to now welcome the Finch Symphonic Band in conjunction with the Concert Choir. Together, they will perform Armed Forces, Pride of America. Veterans, when you hear your service branch song, please stand, if you're able to be recognized.
The United States Army.
Over hill, over dale, we will hit the dusty trail, and then caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counter march and right about, and then caissons go rolling along. Then it's high, high, he in the field artillery. Shout out your numbers loud and strong, for wherever you go, you will always know that the caissons go rolling along.
The United States Marines.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines.
The United States Navy.
Away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college shores, we sail at break of day, 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 day. Through our last night on shore, drink to the foam, until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy voyage home.
The United States Coast Guard.
We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through surf and storm and valley, I shall our purpose be. San Pedrotus is our guide, our fame and glory too. To fight, to save, to fight and die. I, Coast Guard, we are for you.
The United States Air Force.
Climbing high into the sun. Into the sun. Here they come. To meet our father. Adam boys, give her the gun. Give her the gun. Down the dive, starting a flame from under. Off on one terrible course.
States Space Force.
We're the mighty watchful eye, guardians beyond the blue, the invisible front line, war fighters brave and true, boldly reaching into space. There's no limit to our sky, standing guard both night and day. We're the Space Force from on high. God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you. You may be seated. Before we conclude, I'd like to invite Mr. Majorana back to the podium, along with Austintown trustee, Mr. Robert Santos. We are beyond appreciative of having Mr. David here with us today and for sharing his stories with us and to hear the things you told us today, Mr. David, and to have you here with us is beyond an honor. And I don't believe that honor is quite the word, but we really appreciate you being here. So we'd like to offer you some small, minute tokens of our appreciation that don't come remotely close, but is something. So but first, I'd like to welcome Austintown Township trustee Robert Santos to the podium.
Thank you, guys. I am Robert Santos. I'm one of the Austintown Township trustees. I'm here today with my fellow colleagues, Trustee Bruce Shepard and Trustee Monica Devers, and I appreciate them allowing me, being a Marine Corps veteran, the opportunity to present the highest award that we as trustees are able to offer individuals here in our nation in general. Obviously, we've already heard some tremendous acts of bravery Mr. David has done. Not to get too much into it, we can just be a broken record. I'm lost for words on what actually to say, because being a Marine myself, I know what it's like to serve. The things that we do, putting everyone else above our own needs, even if it means sacrificing our life. So, Mr. David, I would like to present to you on behalf of the Austintown Township trustees is this proclamation in our appreciation of your selfless service for our nation, for our community, and to everyone else. So thank you, sir. I would like to present this to you.
Don't sit down. Yeah, Santos, you can sit down. In an effort to maintain the integrity of this ceremony right now, I just need to quickly insert Mr. Jakubek will yell at me if I don't say happy birthday to the Marine Corps yesterday, 250 years. From the Austintown Local Schools, Mr. David would like to present you with a plaque for thanking you for being here today and for for being our distinguished speaker and for everything you've done for our country. Thank you so much for being here. We're beyond appreciative. Yeah, you can sit down now. Yeah, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the conclusion of our ceremony this morning. I want to one more time thank everyone who is in attendance today, especially our honored veterans who are here. Thank you for taking the time to be with us this morning. Veterans and family members of veterans, we have a small reception in the Media Center for you. Of course, and all of our honored guests, that is, a small reception in the Media Center, so you can please meet us there. Students, you have to go back to class. Do not go to the Media Center. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you.